Welcome in this short video on speech organs. In this video, we are going to talk about vocal cords, palate, teeth, tongue, and lips, which are the main speech organs in the production of human speech sounds. The vocal cords are two flap strips of rubber lie opposite to each other. They are situated at the top of the air passage. And you can see here the yellow cartridge, which includes the strips of the vocal cords. And the vocal cords alone are not enough for the production of speech sounds. We need other organs for the production of speech sounds, including the mouth, the nasal cavity, the teeth, lips, so on and so forth. The palate. The second speech organ is simply the roof of the mouth, and you can see this here. This roof of the mouth has four parts. It has the alveolar ridge, it has the hard palate, soft palate, and the uvula. And each part of the roof of the mouth is responsible for the protection of specific speech sounds. And this, of course, determined by the flexibility of the tongue. So if we, for example, move the tip of the tongue, again as the alveolar ridge, which is the place just behind the upper teeth, we can produce the sound t. If we move the front of the tongue, again as the hard palate, we can produce the sound sh. If we move the back of the tongue, again as the soft palate, we can produce the sound k. And if we move the root of the tongue, again as the uvula, we can produce sounds like, for example, the African ge or the Arabic ghe, and so on and so forth. So the roof of the mouth is called the palate, and it has four main parts: the alveolar ridge, the hard palate, the soft palate, and the uvula. The third organ is the teeth, and we have the upper set of teeth and the lower set of teeth. And the teeth alone, we cannot produce sound using all the teeth. We need the tongue, the flexibility of the tongue to produce sounds. So if we move the tip of the tongue, again as the upper set of teeth, we can produce sounds like, for example, the. We can put the tip of the tongue between the upper teeth and lower teeth, and you can produce sound like, for example, the. And then we have the tongue. The tongue is the most important organ of speech, and this is because of the flexibility it has, and because of the movement it has within the mouth cavity. So we can, for example, move the tip of the tongue again as the alveolar ridge, and we can produce the sound te and de. We can move the back of the tongue again as the soft palate, and we can produce sounds like ge and ke. And the movement of each part of the tongue, again as the palate, we can produce different sounds. And the tongue has mainly five parts. It has the tip, the plate, the front, back, and the root. And moving the tip of the tongue again as the alveolar ridge, we can produce sounds like te, for example. Moving the blade of the tongue again as the hard palate, we can produce sound like de. Moving the front of the tongue again as the hard palate too, we can produce sounds like sh. Moving the back of the tongue again as the soft palate, we can produce sound like ge. And moving the back of the tongue again as the very back of the roof of the mouth, we can produce sound like, for example, re sounds. So because of the flexibility of the tongue and the different positions that it has, again as the palate, it's the most important organ of speech. And finally, we have the lips. The shape of the lips determines the sound. So, for example, using flat lips, we can produce sounds like e. Using round lips, we can produce sound like o. Using open lips, we can produce sound like a. So the lips are also an organ of speech, and the different shapes of the lips determine different English sounds. That's for the organs of speech, and please subscribe for future videos. Thank you very much.